Hello vinyl community, this is Graham Allen coming to you from North London, and just wanted to show some records and something a bit different this time. I'm going to be showing some vinyl singles that I picked up over quite a long period of time. So I'm just going to crack on. So first of all, this is quite an unusual album. This is Eddie Jobson, who people know as a keyboard player originally with Frank Zappa. He made his name with Frank Zappa. Also played with Roxy Music. He played electric violin as well in Roxy Music, and really went on to superstardom, or progressive rock superstardom, with his band UK, which was John Wetton bass and vocals, Bill Bruford drums, and Alan Holdsworth. The band only made 2 albums. The second album was Danger Money, and Bruford and Holdsworth left to go into Bruford's own jazz fusion band. Terry Bozzio from Frank Zappa came into the band, and they were a power trio, very, very keyboard dominated. Jobson was sort of twiddling his thumbs a little bit after UK and produced an album called Eddie Jobson's Zinc, which is a sort of very progressive rock album with him playing most of the instruments, keyboard wise. It's an unusual album. It's kind of slightly new wavy. And then this came out, and this is an unusual album in that it's a almost new age sort of synth piano, very textural album. You can probably almost tell by the cover a little bit it represents the music. What is interesting, and it's actually on the front here, it says digitally recorded and digitally mastered. So it's one of the very early total digital albums, and the reason for that is it was played on the synclavier keyboard, which was a early sort of computerized keyboard. I think it did sampling. A lot of sampling was done on the synclavier. So it's one of the first, I think, fully synclavier albums. And you can tell by some of the unusual sounds. There's sounds like metal spheres dropping on a surface, and so you get the repetitive bouncing. But it's a beautiful album. It's on the Private Music label, which I think was Eddie Jobson's own label. So great condition vinyl, and that's the label there. So that's Theme of Secrets, Eddie Jobson. Anyone that likes slightly spacey new age keyboard albums, they really, really enjoy this. Jobson's a very, very good composer. Okay. Next up we have Billy Cobham, Life and Times. This is a jazz fusion album from Billy Cobham's Atlantic years, 1976. Very, very busy playing on this album, but some very, very slow tempo melodic pieces as well. The personnel on this, Billy Cobham obviously drums, John Schofield, who went on to a great career in sort of jazz fusion on guitar. Davili Conga, I think it is, on keyboards, don't know him at all. Doug Rausch on bass, was well known, unfortunately died very young in his late 20s, well known for playing bass with Santana. Richard Davis plays bass. Alan Zavod is very well known, he plays some organ on this. It's a very, very good album, just very typical mid-70s jazz fusion. It's on the Atlantic label, and what I really like about this, it's on the, you don't see it very often, it's on the sort of grey and red or orange grey Atlantic label, as opposed to the green and orange. So really like that, looks great. That's Billy Cobham. Okay, I'm just going to go through some singles that I picked up. Picture cover, Keith Emerson, Honky Tonk Train Blues. Great to get that. With the B-side Barrel House Shakedown. That was on the Works Volume 2 album on the Manticore label. Just really nice to have that. Got to about number 20, I think it was, in the UK charts in 1976 when ELP were taking a hiatus. Another keyboard player from a band, John Lord, from Deep Purple, of course. This is called Going Home, and there's a single on the Harvest label. The main track, is Bark Onto This, which is uses some bark motifs. Very rocking track, a little bit of fusion. And one of the reasons I got this, it has the great Simon Phillips on drums. So that's Bark Onto This, John Lord, and that is 1982. Genesis, Many Too Many from the And Then There Were Three album. The reason I picked this up, we've got two unreleased two unreleased tracks on the B-side that weren't on the album. The Day the Light Went Out, which is a really good track, and Vancouver. Just really good tracks. I know there's been some debate about The Day the Lights Went Out, should have been on the album, really. And Then There Were Three, of course, the album with the big hit single, Follow You, Follow Me. This, of course, is on the Charisma label. Next, single that you don't see very much. It's quite funny. It's Bill Bruford, Hell's Bells. This is a track off One of a Kind, his second solo album, and it's got 5G and Age of Information on the B-side. It's kind of like a little EP, really, and there's a good sort of 15 minutes of music on this. Really glad to get hold of this. Just a terrific cover, Bill Bruford with his Rototom kit, and that's on I think it's EG Records. Yes, EG Records. Terrific to have that. It's a great track, Hell's Bells. Mike Oldfield, as people know, often used sort of female vocalists or vocalists. This is To France with vocals by a superb performance by Maggie Riley. It has an instrumental on the B-side, and this was released in 1982 and was actually produced by Simon Phillips, the drummer who did a lot of production work with Mike Oldfield. And this is on, of course, the Virgin label. Just showing this because it's a red vinyl and the band doesn't get enough mention, really. It's a UK band called After the Fire. They were the very first band I saw live, I think in 1979 at Lancaster University. They were originally a very sort of prog progressive band who produced an album called Signs of Change in the early 70s. A little bit of a kind of keyboard dominated outfit with sort of Hammond, Moog, that kind of thing. And they really changed styles into much shorter, poppier new wave kind of sound in the late 70s, 79 through to 82. They had a hit single called Der Kommissar, which was a Folko track in 82, I think, but the band had kind of split up by then. This is just a great track. It's called One Rule For You. The B-side is called Joy, which is a bit of a Moog solo, really. I really enjoy Peter Banks' keyboard playing, and it's just really nice. It's on red vinyl. That is After the Fire, worth checking out. Early 80s again, this is a picture disc, Only Time Will Tell, by Asia. Don't really need to say much about them. Sort of prog supergroup, early 80s. At the time I picked this up, because the B-side Ride Easy wasn't on the first Asia album and is actually, I think, one of the strongest tracks from those sessions. Beautiful track. And Only Time Will Tell was the second single after Heat of the Moment on the album. It also had Soul Survivor, as I said, Aisha, Steve Howe from Yes, Jeff Downes from The Buggles and Yes, John Wetton from UK, we mentioned him earlier, and of course Carl Palmer on drums. Just a great track and really nice to have it on picture disc. This is quite rare. This is a flexi disc from 1973 that came with the New Musical Express, which was one of the music papers in the UK, along with Melody Maker and Sounds and Record Mirror of the day. And it was a promo release ahead of Emerson, Lake and Palmer's 1973 Brain Salad Surgery album. The flexi disc contains excerpts from the actual album. It's laid out very much like the Brain Salad Surgery album. So you get the kind of opening gate there with the H.R. Giger, it's actually his wife, painting inside. And the flexi disc, of course, it is literally a flexi disc, has excerpts from the album. So it's just great to have that. I've actually got a couple of copies of this. You can get this fairly easily, but it's just really nice to have it, and it's in pristine condition as well. So that's excerpts from Brain Salad Surgery, Emerson, Lake and Palmer. And last up, I have somebody that played with Emerson and Lake, of course, Cozy Powell, and this is The Loner with a B-side called El Cid, and it comes from the Over the Top 1979 Polydor album, a Cozy Powell solo album that I've actually talked about in a previous video. Great drummer-led album, but with some great people on this. It's got Gary Moore and Jack Bruce. Jack Bruce, of course, playing bass on this, and Max Middleton and Don Airy playing keyboards. This is on Blue, beg your pardon, it's on Areola, not Polydor. It's just great to have that on Blue, and also quite nice on the back side of this. You've got one of these where you can write in, send off for official merchandise, and it's just always great to see the cost of these things. So there's a sweatshirt for £6 and a t-shirt for £3 and a button badge for 45p. And of course, you have to in these days write off and send your details with the sizing you want, and they will send it back to you. And this was you had to write to somewhere in London for this, and it gives you notes what to fill in about the size. Just great to have that, a little bit of nostalgia really. So that's Cozy Powell, The Loner and El Cid. Picture of his Yamaha kit there. And that's it. I hope everyone is well, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.